Heather Botez. Great work as always, Chris. You're so warm and well-spoken. I would take every college course you offered if you were a professor. Question. I realized through reading A Piece of Blue Sky that a lot of L. Ron's conspiracy theories still persist today on the internet. I have met many people who believe in a prison planet, the Illuminati, etc. Since the verbiage is the same for these theories, did they come from L. Ron's paranoid ramblings? Are some of the people perpetuating these ideas former Scientologists, or were they influenced by Dennix years ago? Thank you very much for your compliment there. Maybe someday I'll give some college classes and you can come. As far as Hubbard's conspiracy theories, no, it's kind of the other way around. Hubbard gathered up all of his conspiracy theories from the news and from, books and things like that, and he developed this kind of bizarre, whatever other, places he got these ideas from, and he sort of developed this bizarre world conspiracy of 12 men who, oversaw all the operations on the entire planet, and they used the media, and psychiatry was their enforcement arm. If they didn't like somebody or they wanted somebody, gotten out of the way, then the psychiatrist would be set loose, and that person would be locked up and electroshocked and put out of their misery and this kind of thing, or be doped up on psychiatric drugs and sort of left for dead, and this kind of thing. I mean, it just goes on and on. Now, shortly after this started coming out of Hubbard's mouth, this was in 1967 that Hubbard started talking about this. He put up some other articles about it, and I think it was 1970 or 71 that a book came out called None Dare Call It Conspiracy, which had nothing to do with Scientology at all. It was written by a guy who used to be a reporter or media guy, and this talked about the Council on Foreign Relations and the CFR and the Trilateral Commission and the Rockefellers and this whole thing, and then this was another big world conspiracy thing that was put out in this book. And that's not the earliest work on world conspiracies at all. The Illuminati is a very, very old idea that goes back for many, many, many decades. So Hubbard's whole thing, I think Alex Jones has a website he calls prisonplanet.com, which I think you're talking about here in this question. And I don't think Alex Jones ever had anything to do with Scientology at all. There's no connection I'm aware of. And but Alex Jones would certainly be the kind of guy who would suck up Hubbard's, world conspiracies. But those conspiracy theories have been around for many, many decades, and they were not invented by or unique to Hubbard at all. I think the only thing that was really unique about them, as far as Hubbard goes, was the idea that psychiatry was the enforcement arm of these 12 men, and that they were purposefully using that to erode educational standards and influence people. Like, for example, he said one time that I think Henry Luce's wife, Henry Luce was the guy who owned Time magazine, and Hubbard said that Henry Luce's wife was an LSD addict or a drug addict because her psychiatrist made her so, and they did that specifically in order to control Henry Luce and therefore control the contents of Time magazine. And if you know how things work in the real world, that's just ludicrous. That's not how things get done. There are, big money does exist, big pharma, big gun, big this, big that. I mean, there are, massive corporations with lots and lots of money who do not have any problem throwing their influence around in order to, shape things to their advantage. But to take that and then draw connections and connect dots that don't connect between all these massive corporations and the idea that they're all controlling the world, that's where I go, no. We went a little too far there. So anyway, so no, I don't think Hubbard was behind a lot of modern day conspiracy theory.